Apple has once again brought the iPhone battle to the forefront with the release of the iPhone 16 Pro Max. On September 10, 2024, Apple introduced its latest flagship devices, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max stands as the top-tier option, boasting the biggest screen, more performance, and a revamped camera system compared to its predecessor, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Let's dive into how the iPhone 16 Pro Max changes the game and how it stacks up against the 2023 model, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The iPhone 16 Pro Max maintains the same starting price as the iPhone 15 Pro Max at $1,199. It's packed with some notable upgrades. In terms of physical size, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is larger, measuring 6.42 x 3.06 inches compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 6.29 x 3.02 inches. Despite this size increase, the thickness remains the same at 0.32 inches. Storage options remain the same: 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, and 1 TB, giving users plenty of room for apps, videos, and photos. Physical dimensions and build: Apple focused on size and weight for its 2024 model. While the iPhone 15 Pro Max was already large at 7.81 ounces, the iPhone 16 Pro Max takes it up a notch, weighing 7.99 ounces. Despite this added weight, the frame is still made from grade 5 titanium, which ensures durability without sacrificing sleekness. In terms of dimensions, the iPhone 16 Pro Max's 6.9-inch display is larger than the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 6.7-inch screen. Although the display is bigger, Apple has worked to minimize the bezels to keep the phone as ergonomic as possible. Display and dynamic island. The iPhone 15 Pro Max featured a stunning Super Retina XDR display with 2796 x 1290 resolution. The iPhone 16 Pro Max takes it further with a slightly larger 6.9-inch Super Retina XDR display, upping the resolution to 2866 x 1320, while maintaining the same 460 pixels per inch opacity. The result? A visually immersive experience, especially for content lovers. Both models feature promotion technology supporting refresh rates of up to 120 Hz, ensuring fluidity when scrolling or gaming. The dynamic island remains a staple, providing users a new way to interact with notifications and apps. Camera upgrades. The camera systems in both models are where Apple shows its innovation. The iPhone 15 Pro Max had a solid setup with a 48-megapixel wide lens, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 12-megapixel telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom. While the iPhone 16 Pro Max maintains the 48-megapixel fusion camera, the ultra-wide camera gets a huge boost, jumping from 12 megapixel to 48 MP, making it ideal for landscape and group shots. Apple retained the 5x optical zoom in the telephoto lens but made no significant changes to this particular sensor. However, you can expect an eventual upgrade, possibly in future models. When it comes to video, both phones can record in 4K, but the iPhone 16 Pro Max pushes the envelope by offering 120 FPS recording in 4K Dolby Vision. Videographers will love the Pro's capabilities, which can now record externally at 4K 120 FPS compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 60 FPS limit. The iPhone 15 Pro Max already impressed with 29 hours of video playback, but the iPhone 16 Pro Max pushes this to 33 hours. The iPhone 16 Pro Max brings several improvements over the iPhone 15 Pro Max with its larger screen, better ultra-wide camera, faster 18 Pro chip, and longer battery life. In 2 months' time, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will succeed the iPhone 15 Pro Max and take on the mantle as the best and most advanced iPhone out there. Although there's plenty of time until September and a lot can change, we seem to know a lot about the upcoming top iPhone model based on rumors and leaks. How is the iPhone 16 Pro Max shaping up against its predecessor? What's changing and what's staying the same? Let's see how the iPhone 16 Pro Max shapes up against the current best iPhone Apple has in its roster. First up, let's talk about design and size. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will inherit the same design language as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, employing the same titanium frame with a completely flat screen. The major difference between the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 15 Pro Max will be size. The upcoming iPhone screen will grow to 6.9 inches across, a significant bump over the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 6.7-inch display. To achieve this, they're likely shrinking the bezels down even further and making the phone itself slightly larger overall. As per the rumors, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will measure 163mm in height and 77.58mm in width, versus 159.9mm and 76.7mm for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, respectively. A small but notable change, all things considered. The iPhone 15 Pro Max debuted with an action button instead of a mute switch and a USB Type-C port at the bottom, so those two features will be carrying over to the newer model as well. However, the iPhone 16 series will be scoring another button, dubbed the Capture button. Colors-wise, the iPhone 15 Pro Max was available in 4 understated and titanium-inspired colors. We've heard that Apple might use another titanium processing technique that will make the iPhone 16 Pro Max glossier and also more capable of retaining colors. Moving on to display differences. As mentioned, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come along with a significantly larger display, measuring at 6.9 inches across. Aside from the size, we don't clearly expect any other major changes. We're certainly getting a liquid Retina XDR display with an OLED panel delivering superb colors, contrast, and exceptional maximum brightness. The screen will support 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate, making scrolling through the interface and on-screen content way smoother. Now let's delve into performance and software. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will feature a second-generation 3nm chip, possibly dubbed Apple A18 Pro. As one can imagine, we expect that the Apple A18 Pro will have better performance than the Apple A17 Pro. Due to the heavily rumored focus on AI for both iOS and the iPhone 16 range, we expect that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come with a much improved neural engine to take care of all the generative AI features. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will also be a first to debut iOS 18 with a focus on artificial intelligence features. The new iPhone 16 Pro Max will also support faster Wi-Fi 7 and a more power-efficient 5G modem, keeping you future-proofed on the connectivity front. Let's talk about the camera. As the iPhone 15 Pro Max delivers a host of important camera features, chief among which is the new 120mm telephoto lens, the iPhone 16 Pro Max could finally address one of the forgotten cameras that hasn't recently scored any significant overhauls, the ultra-wide. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo believes that Apple will be introducing a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. When it comes to audio quality, iPhone Pro Max devices are always up there with the best, setting the benchmarks for all other manufacturers to measure up against. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will be no exception. The same generally applies to haptics too. iPhones are arguably the best devices when it comes to haptic feedback, giving us precise and accurate vibrations that are sufficiently strong yet not overpowering. Lastly, battery life and charging. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will reportedly feature a much larger 4,676 mAh battery compared to the 4,422 mAh battery in the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Charging-wise, we haven't heard anything about a potential charging speed increase, but we hope to see one on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So far, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is shaping up to be a logical improvement to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, delivering key upgrades in important areas like screen size, performance, AI, and battery life. Thus far, we haven't heard anything particular about a potential price increase, so it's safe to assume that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will start at $1,199 for the 256GB version. Of course, if there's an iPhone 15 Pro Max in your pocket, then you'll probably have few reasons to upgrade to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Stay tuned for more updates on the iPhone 16 Pro Max as we get closer to its release date. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest tech news and reviews. Thanks for watching. Until next time.